All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, the youth of Kenya have shocked the whole world as they have refused to back down on their protest despite intimidation from the government. Seeing their resolve, their president William Ruto had to bow to their demand on the finance bill. But it appeared like it was too late because even after withdrawing the finance bill, the people of Kenya continued to protest, asking for Ruto's resignation. And I recall bringing you an interview here from Arise where the guest and the interviewer, Charles, agreed that the situation in Kenya is very similar with the situation of Nigeria. I mean, what the people are crying about in Kenya is almost the same as what Nigerians are crying about. Now, in order to appease the people of Kenya, their president, William Ruto, has pulled out some ideas right out of Peter Obi's manifesto. This man just proved to me and to everyone in this country that Peter Obi's model of leadership and governance is not only needed in Nigeria but in the entire African continent. Before I show you what Ruto did and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you how Nigerians blasted Tinubu after he claimed that there is a similarity between his election and the election of the newly elected Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Keir Starmer. First of all, watch this short clip of some Nigerians in the UK narrating their experience after voting in the UK elections as it relates to voting in Nigeria. Here is the short clip.
No Tony Kabaka. No.
We don't vote, no ballot snatching, no queue. 5 minutes, they don't quit.
Those were Nigerians who live in the UK narrating how peaceful and hitch-free the voting was for them over there in the UK, and they began mentioning Tinubu's thugs, no Tony Kabaka, no MC Oluomo, to come and disrupt elections and snatch ballot boxes. Now, the same Tinubu came and said this. Tinubu congratulates UK Minister Starmer on election victory, draws similarities in their journeys to power. Reporters. Bola Tinubu has sent his congratulatory message to the leader of the Labour Party and new Prime Minister Keir Starmer in the United Kingdom. Tinubu, who congratulated Starmer, said in a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Chief Ajuri Ngelale, on Friday, that as a former opposition leader in Nigeria, he is particularly impressed by the determination and courage demonstrated by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during his years in opposition and as leader of the Labour Party. He added that the party's ability to reform, mobilize, and position itself for victory after 14 years clearly affirms the leadership qualities of Starmer. Tinubu also congratulates the citizens and the government of the United Kingdom, describing the kingdom as an abiding model for democracy and Nigeria's long-standing partner. Now, the very fact that Tinubu compared his time in the opposition with Keir Starmer's time in the opposition got Nigerians irritated. During your time in the opposition, you were tormenting citizens in Lagos. You empowered thugs to intimidate the populace, including police. When his thugs appear, police will sit down. They disrupt elections and the peace of everybody. You cannot liken yourself to noble men whose identities and sources of wealth are not shrouded in mystery. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. And this tweet here by Madi Shehu says, "Please stop pretending to be what you are not. Your roads never crossed. He is a politician and a practicing Democrat, which you are not." And this tweet here by Dr. Taiwo says, "Which similarities? Ballot snatching, thuggery, police and military intimidations, ethnic and religious bigotry, INEC glitches with false results, vote buying, corrupt INEC officials and corrupt judges. Where is the similarity, please?" Oh my God. And it's facts. There is no similarity at all. And Folorunsho Idris here says, "Is there any similarities between Nigeria and UK elections?" To start with, they are worlds apart. We are looking at a place where Everybody wants the country to work. People are trying to get their nation to work. There's nothing that happens there in terms of elections that you can compare to this place. Here that elites have taken over, they choose election days as days to wreak havoc. And this tweet here by Adams Muyiwa says, which similarities? You were rigged. You are supposed to be at home playing with your grandchildren. Oh, and this tweet here by Musa Ibrahim Ahmed says, them they do ballot snatching and thuggery for UK ni. Which similarity are you talking about? There is no similarity at all. And Oluwatumise Oladapo here says, no one needs an undemocratic president's congratulatory message. He should concentrate on his responsibilities and give us his best. Oh my God. And that is it. Coming straight out of the mouths of Nigerians from north, south, east, and west, there are no similarities between them. Now, let us look at those moves that the president of Kenya, William Ruto, pulled straight out of Peter Obi's manifesto. Look at how the papers reported it. Just in, Ruto scraps budget for First Lady's office, dissolves 40 agencies amid protests. That is cutting down the cost of governance. On Friday, President William Ruto took a decisive step, scrapping the budget for the office of the Kenya's first and second ladies after nationwide protests. Mr. Ruto announced this in a live broadcast on Friday. He also dissolved 47 agencies, suspending non-essential travels for officials. Mr. Ruto said he is cutting the number of advisors in government by 50% immediately. The operations of the office of the First Lady, Second Lady, and the wife of the Prime Cabinet will be removed, Mr. Ruto added. According to Kenyan President, all non-essential travels by state and public officers is hereby suspended, and no state officer or public servant will participate in Harambee. He added, in keeping up with the austerity measures we promised, 47 state corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions to be dissolved and affected staff to be transferred to other ministries. For 3 straight weeks, protesters marched on the streets of Kenya, disrupting commercial activities for the 3rd week since the protest against the finance bill broke out on June 18. However, the protest took a deadly trajectory as protesters occupied the parliament, defying police's tear gas, water cannons, and live bullets. Amnesty International had accused Mr. Ruto of deploying snipers to shoot down protesters, calling for his trial at the International Criminal Court. Governor of Migori County, Ochilo Ayako, had also condemned Kenyan police for using brute force against anti-finance bill protesters, shooting them in the back as they fled. Now, Kenya government, led by President William Ruto, has completely bowed to the pressure that is being mounted upon him by the youths of Kenya. And in order to appease them, this is what he is doing. This tells us 2 things, because the man now is doing everything that the people says, including the ones that the people did not say. This tells us the power of protest, and that is what we have been clamoring for. If Nigerians can unite and come out, they can bring down any opposition or anybody in government. And this tells us that protest is the answer. It also tells us that Peter Obi is the answer. Because what is William Ruto doing? What is his response to the protest? He is speaking. Maybe he even got Peter Obi's manifesto. Because everything he's doing right now are the things that Obi said. It shows that Peter Obi's model is not only for Nigeria. It works everywhere. We are talking about a model of sincerity of governance. That is why it is applicable everywhere. A model of common sense that every right-thinking government should adopt. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here says, see what protests can lead to. If they kept silent, they would have been taxed excessively, while the first ladies continued to live flamboyant lives. And Dr. Edu here says, I envy Kenyans. This is what should be happening in Nigeria. But Ronu people must play in the betrayal card. Men without balls. Honestly, I envy Kenya. This is what you call a country, a nation. This is what you call a people. Nigeria here, we don't act normal at all. You need to follow what is happening in Kenya, because I can't bring you everything here. Follow what is happening there to see what these guys have been able to achieve in 3 weeks of that protest. In 3 weeks, they have achieved more than they have in many years just with that protest. But here we are in Nigeria, still trying to preach to ourselves to jettison ethnicity and religion, even with the hunger and poverty and hopelessness that is in the land. It is left for Nigerians to know what is best and do it for themselves. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go